It was a deep, dark night in the wild forests of the world. Too late after Christmas to still enjoy that season's levity, too early for spring to have draped her brightening garment across the forest floor. And so the trees stood silent, and the forest grey, and the waters black. But in the dark, between the trees, and very quietly, there stalked a tiny fox. This fox was not off on any random stroll that night, nor was he lost, for he was a fox with a plan. As the other animals slept, tucked away in their burrows and hovels, the tiny fox got to work. He draped long garlands of fairy lights across the branches of naked trees. He hung lanterns outside the nests of squirrels and robins. He lit candles along the riverbed, which reflected in the water. And placed torches by the old, weather-worn oak. For you see, the tiny fox had noticed how dim the forest had become, how dark the winter had been that year, how the other creatures had fallen silent and pale under its heavy weight. And though the fox had no power to call out the sun or rush flowers into blooming, he could do one thing: bring a bit of light into a dark place. Now it just so happened that a cheeky little squirrel kit stuck his head out of his hole while his siblings slept, hoping to perhaps catch sight of a spotted owl gliding through the night. But what met his eyes was not an owl, but the flicker of many lights, and he wondered whether some of the stars had fallen to earth. In his bright eyes shone the lanterns, the fairy lights, the candles by the water, and soon enough he had roused all his sisters and brothers, his mother and father, and in the process alerted half the neighbors too. Groggy and sleepy-eyed, they peeped out of their beds to see what the commotion was all about, and they too were met with more brightness and brilliance than they had seen for that long, long winter. As though they had forgotten there was more than the dark. As though their hearts remembered something distant and buried. And as the creatures of the wild forest watched in wonder, their eyes glistening, the tiny fox slipped away quietly among the trees. May you find a light in the darkness, a flame to interrupt the fear that causes us to forget what bright days feel like. And may we, like the tiny fox, remember that we too have the power, perhaps not to end the dark, but to leave a light for someone in the darkness, as a reminder and a gift.